That will work.
We're still waiting on Jeff and Sarah.
I don't know if I can go back to that.
We're welcome.
Do you want me to go?
Just put up I don't know.
Thank you. So we're half a panel down. So that's a great start, isn't it? But oh well, so with the absent Jeff and Sarah in mind, hello. I'm Blake Hartman, or Tamashi Kanjo, that's Puppy. And we are presenting, oh, more people. We are presenting Damaku and AyaCon, which is a Touhou gaming panel. Basically, we'll have an introduction to things and whatnot, to how Touhou is and, you know, the backstory of Touhou really, but not Touhou, as in how it was made. After that, it'll be about 10 to 15 minutes. We'll allow you to play the games on 4 laptops when the other 2 get here. We'll have Hopeless Masquerade and Double Dealing Character, which are the 2 latest games from the Touhou project, on the main screen here for you to play. We'll have side presentations going on in that corner for everyone who doesn't, for people who don't want to play the games. And they'll be about the actual history of Gen Tokyo, which is where Touhou is set. And it will also be about the non-game works of Touhou, so the mangas, the novels, and etc. etc. After the hour mark, so when we get past 1 o'clock, we'll come back here for a bonus presentation that I put together sort of last second that I figured would be a nice treat, although I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. Thank you. Before we begin, I'm going to do a quick shout out to a few groups and sponsors, really. MOTK, Maidens of the Kaleidoscope, is a forum, a very big Touhou community forum that I'm a part of. And they have helped me so much the past couple of years, especially with getting the panels and stuff together. So Touhou Wiki is partly run by them and part by everybody else in the community, so another thing to go to, especially if you want to follow up on more about what Touhou is and certain characters. You can go to the wiki, it's got everything there. The UK Fans Facebook page, which we are a part of, which is basically, hey! Who else is part of the UK page, if anybody? Yay! Good number of you, so yeah. We're all on Facebook, we're all in the UK, obviously. And the bottom one is Waffers, which is Create.Swift, which is created by Kirby M. That is basically 2D chibi animation stuff that a lot of us use, mainly me and Spastic and a few others who do some video animations with it. So again, a shout out to them because there's a lot of stuff they do that's pretty helpful for us. So, in the next 2 hours, that's pretty much what we just already described, a 10-minute introduction, a chance to play Touhou from Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, number 6, and Double Dealing Character, number 14. We can't allow you to play 1 through 5 because they are the PC98 games and they are incredibly hard to run on Windows stuff. I have made them work, but they are very slow running, so there is no point in having you try that out. An overview of the official manga novels, which we'll do over there, and then the bonus hour. Hey, more people. Take a seat. If there's not enough seats, just grab some seats from the back and pull them forward. Okay. So, what is Touhou? Some of you will probably recognise Touhou from that. Some of you might recognise it from that. And some of you might recognise it from little girls. And the very few people, or quite a number of people, associate it with not safe for stuff at all. because there is a fair amount of hentai out there. Unfortunately, Word of Sun says that he doesn't really like the hentai market so much, but he doesn't chase them up on it. He does say, please don't post hentai of my characters, but he doesn't really chase them up about it, so some people respect it, some people don't. No, but really, the Touhou Project is a series of vertical shooters made by... There is a snake in it.
Snake! Snake!
God damn it.
It's called a paradox.
No. There's too many sakis in the room for that. But yeah, it's a vertical shooters made by Zun / Team Shanghai Alice, which is pretty much him. The term Damaku pretty much does mean bullet hell, and bullet hell is literally that. Lots of bullets, lots of lasers, lots of giant orbs, lots of things that can and will kill you. There was one of the vertical shooters in the arcades where it's like, oh, half of these things won't hurt you, but half of these will, and it's like, everything here will kill you. The difficulty is, it depends on what you play on. If you play on easy, if you play on easy, it can be easy, but it will pick up the difficulty on the later stages, so it could surprise you. Normal is normal, hard is stupidly hard, and lunatic you just don't play, unless you're drinking. Seriously! That's going to be the troll note of the entire panel, isn't it? Jeez. Hooray! Sit down there and grab the mic. It wouldn't be a Touhou panel without Jeff.
Of course it would.
So now we're just missing Sarah and or Crimson if he wants to come up. But yeah, you haven't missed much. We just basically told everyone that it's about bullets and lollies.
And hats.
And me.
I haven't actually mentioned the hat yet. He pretty much makes them all by hand. I did have a little note card that says officially what he does, but if I just say everything, I think it pretty much sums it up. The programming, the games, the patterns, the characters, the music, he does it all. Unfortunately, as a result of that, his art is not as great as his music, but it's charming in its own way, because I quite like it. And plus you can actually see, as each game progresses, his art gets better, apart from Mountain of Faith, which is just a complete and utter glitch in what the hell he was doing.
But you mean his art gets better? What was it? Nico has 2 left hands.
Yeah, with the exception of that, his art gets better. So, this is where it started, amusingly enough, all the way back in 1995 at this university in Tokyo. Sarah! Hooray! Take a seat. Actually, you don't run.
I shall name it Mimi.
We have not got time for Austin Powers.
There's always time for Austin Powers.
So yeah, it started here at Tokyo Denki University. He was about 18 to 19 years old when he had the idea to make his first game, which was highly responsive to prayers. He did it under an unofficial student group called Amusement Makers, who have since gained quite a reputation and have been releasing stuff like the Sister series, which was set on, and a few other little tiny things that have came from them, but not so much. And even before that, all the way before that in junior school, he was already creating his music and progressing much more better at it. So he'd already got the music to start with. Why exactly it started? Well, if you don't like them, then make your own, was pretty much his entire viewpoint on it. He didn't really like many of the games that were out, he didn't really seem to enjoy them, so he decided, screw this, I'll make my own game. And for some bizarre reason, the first game wasn't even what we know today as the Damaku stuff. It was literally them kicking the ball around and trying to hit blocks, basically. That's pretty much what it was. It wasn't even a vertical shooter. but yet it still had the Danmaku aspect of it, which was still, well, it's still bizarre, but it holds true all the way up until date, because from the second game onwards, he started doing vertical shooters. So how does he do it? Well, that's him on his workstation in 2009, so it probably has changed a bit by then, but yeah, basically, double monitors, he plays the keyboard, he plays his music via actual computer keyboard and not the musical keyboards, which I still find astounding. That is an Xbox controller, isn't it? No, it's a PlayStation controller. Ah, okay. He must test it on that somehow then, and headphones. And yeah, he is currently working on Shoot the Bullet there, which is still arguably one of the hardest non-actual Danmaku games because of certain cards. Kaguya. Freaking curtain, which you cannot capture unless you really want to spend 24 hours trying to capture it. So yeah, his workspace is quite tiny. Obviously, it's probably grown a bit since then, since, you know, he is married now, so he probably has a lot more space, and if he doesn't, then holy hell, how the hell does he work in that? But hey, so, before we really go any further about the actual games, there should be...
Sakia 2! Back to work!
Have I finished raving? Yes, maybe. Just this once. There are significant gaps in his. Did you really bring the squeaky boobs back? There is a bit of a gap in his sort of game creations. Specifically, the biggest one really is the top one, which is Mystic Square and Burden and Scarlet Devil. That's for a couple of reasons. A, Mystic Square was the last game on the PC 98, and Burden and Scarlet Devil was the first game in the Windows. So those 4 years was him going away from university and just doing other stuff other than games. So that's one of the really big gaps, the 4-year gaps, and obviously when he finally came back into Scarlet Devil, even then, the stuff he originally planned for it, he sort of scrapped and put to the side, and then went, okay, we'll do this instead, because unfortunately one of his first promotional art was of a character that never actually appeared in the game, which is still sad to this day. And even now, even something as obscure as that still has a certain fan base that really like the character and prefer her over others. So it's a really weird way of how the Touhou fans are. They can like any character for whatever reason, whether they appear or not. The second gap was from Flowerview to Flowerview / Shoot the Bullet to Mountain of Faith. The reason why it's a slash is because they both were released at the same time, because Shoot the Bullet was released with the art book that was released at the same time as Flowerview, so it's why they've sort of been joined together. Mountain of Faith, it was 2 years later, and the reason why the 2-year gap was because Zone was actually working on non-game stuff. So basically he did the novels and the mangas, because he had a very confusing storyline in Silent Cinema in Blue that spanned across the manga, the novel, and a 4-comma that actually had nothing to do with the story at all. It was really weird, but Mountain of Faith was released, and then the 4-comma was released after it. I was like, oops, okay. And then the third gap, 10 Desires to the last 2 games, which you'll be trying at some point, which is Hopeless Masquerade and Double Dealing Character. 2-year gap again. He was working on more manga stuff, which was Wild and Horn Hermit and Forbidden School. Yeah. Thank you. I always hate it when I have to double check things like that. He also, between those, released official music CDs, music volumes. There's 7 of them, because there's 5.5, so I guess that would take 8, but that doesn't really count, because that was a one-off thing, and that was done in tribute to the tsunami, which was 2 years ago, and that sort of delayed his plans for 10 Desires, because he was going to release that, and then the tsunami hit, and he went, actually, I'll delay this until a few months from now, and actually release a bonus CD to raise money for them, which I thought was a really nice gesture from him. So, how do we play the games? Because obviously, if you want to actually play the games, come up front, and we'll have a couple of laptops. Well, we'll have 2 laptops here and 2 laptops there, and then this laptop here will be holding the main games on here. In the normal games, it's basically hold down Z to shoot. You will fire upwards, and depending on your character, it'll either go straight up or diagonally all over the screen. Pressing X will allow you to declare your spell card or bomb. It will just literally, most of the times, remove all bullets from the screen unless you're Sakia, who just stops it, takes them away, and then some bullets will suddenly appear at you anyway. Holding down Shift for focus mode, which will basically slow your character down. It will reveal your tiny hitbox, which is basically don't let anything hit that or you will die. You can have it graze across your character and it'll be fine as long as it doesn't hit the hitbox in the center of the character sprite. And then you're fine.
But if none of you are good at keyboard, on my computer I'll have a joypad set up.
Yes, we do also have controls as well. Thank you very much for that, Jeff. Because we have controllers for this one, but I sort of ran out of room for any more controls. I'm actually quite glad that Jeff brought a controller. So we do have a controller dedicated laptop over there. So yeah, speaking of the controllers, they will vary on that. So you can set up different button configurations for it, but it's very simple to do. So the fighting games, I will explain what each thing does, because trying to configure that is quite confusing, especially for Hopeless Masquerade, because there's no English patch yet. So getting understanding the kanji is still quite hard. That is it for the introduction. So yay, intro done. What time are we on? That's okay then. So yeah, we'll set up Hopeless Masquerade on here. It's for anyone who wants to try the latest fighting game, which is very different from the old one, because the old one is just flat floor. In Hopeless Masquerade, you can actually fly up and down. So it's going to be very crazy. It's more Touhou. It's got the more better feel of what Touhou should be as a fighting game, rather than Hizo Tensoku. You can play Hizo Tensoku and Scarlet River on the other laptops if you want to. There will be the side presentations, which I will very quickly set up. For those who don't want to play the games and want to learn more about the non-game side of things and the history of Gensokyo. Until then, at 1 o'clock, at about 20 minutes after we've done Hopeless Masquerade, we'll put Double Dealing Character up here, because that is the latest game and I think it deserves screen time.
Was it from my laptop or yours?
What, Double Dealing Character?
Yeah.
I was on about the main screen. So.
Alright, oh, you got set up on that.
Because to be fair, it is the latest one, I think it deserves it, really.
Okay.
So, any questions? You can ask any questions now if you want to any of us, which can be anything you want if it's Touhou related, and we'll do the quick couple of questions then, and then after that, we'll start playing. Any questions? You!
Do you know how many different characters there are in the game?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
About 150 odd.
There is easily over 100 characters.
Over 150, I'd say.
Yeah.
In each game, you're looking at, normally it would be 2 main characters, and then 6 stages, and then 7. So
you get 7 new characters, sometimes including mid-bosses.
Yeah, so we'd say about 9 to 10 characters per game, unless it's Tendesize, in which there was at least 3 recurring characters. That's the thing with the Touhou games. Sometimes all characters can actually suddenly appear in new games if they're related to the storyline of whichever game it is, which I will explain a bit over there. Any more questions? Melee.
Are they real or are they pads?
Can I have that knife, please?
I felt them. They're sort of half and half.
One real, one fake.
They're real up till point.
They're too squeaky to be real. There you go, you can stab her. Any more questions? We can ask more questions later anyway, so hopefully by that point in time we'll have more information to then go, question. So, anybody who wants to play any of the games, there will be 4 laptops, 2 on there and 2 on there, and you can play. Just ask us which game you would like to play, and we'll let you play it. If you don't know what game you want to play, but you want to try it, we'll suggest a game for you to try first, because some are easier than others. Cough, cough, don't play Subterranean Animism. Seriously, don't, unless you really want to have a hard time.
Play Subterranean Animism and Lunatic.
Okay.
First stage of a
Oh, you've got your hand up. Are you...
I've done it once. Very practical.
When I put that to the test.
Yeah.
So what would be the best game to start on Touhou eventually?
Imperishable Night or Tenders? No.
No, it's
I
starting with
recommend...
Monument of the Scarlet Devil because it introduces like some very characters that occur quite often throughout the later game.
Yes. Otherwise, if you're after difficulty-wise, then... Well, Tender's Eyes is pretty much the easiest game you're going to get from
Monument of the Scarlet Devils has probably got the most simplest rules.
And then Imperishable Night will probably be the next.
But if you're really wanting to go for the story, I would suggest just starting with the PC 98 games.
Yeah.
Just start with the hardest ones.
No one talks about me. See, I got to censor myself there as well. Right, anybody wants to play the game? Just come forward. Anyone who wants to go to... Oh, hang on, I have one question over there. Hang on. Hang on. Sure.
Chirno asks, where's Nima?
sitting in a cupboard back at my house.
Probably.
I'd
I'd
say she's either sealed in the Hakura Shrine or sealed in Makai. One of the two, considering that was the last place we saw her, was in Makai. So if Makai's been boarded, she might be in there. That's all I'm going to say.
Trolling.
We'll be in the next one.
Nima will never be in the next game. Get over it.
Far back.
Difference from person to person. I always thought that Cherry Blossom was really good. Not more the thing.
Yeah, that is true because depending on what you're playing at, the cherry thing does fill up quite quickly.
It isn't that. I actually say Embodiment of the Scarlet Devil is easier because Marissa is technically broken with because she can pretty much master spark through any spell card in the game.
If you're on about broken, Master of Faith with Marissa B is the easiest game in the series.
Everyone says that. Everyone does.
Yeah, same with Embodiment of the Scarlet Devil. You can master spark your way through the game.
Sakia.
Is it Cerno or Cherno?
Cherno.
Cherno.
Cherno. It's a silent H, and you pronounce it Cherno.
So you pronounce it like cello.
Anyone else before we actually start playing? Going on, guys, thank you. If you want to play the games, come forward. If you want to go to the presentations, over there. Thank you very much.
Like 10 minutes of a new one. Midnight. Oh, I still
starting your music? Pretty much. I'd never recommend playing unless you're just because some games won't actually let you progress throughout the entire main story mode if you don't stop. At the same time, you're better to understand the content and learn hard. Pretty much my laptop, I'll just be changing games to A1.
I'll help you along.
Rainbow versus Marissa. Rainbow versus
I don't know why. Very important. Going that way you can have something again. That's the
Yeah.
That's all right. Oh.
So that's your role. Someone doesn't play a walk. We have got what's happened?
Legs being rushed to bathroom.
Okay, try again. Tilt that. Tilt that. No, as in tilt it. Jawline. Okay, that's weird. Why is it doing
Touhou is very much a memory game. You have to stick on I've played this level about 200 times.
focus on what's coming up. Avoiding things, staying alive is more important than and remember, if you get stuck, fall. You can do this and that.
Some creating elements of these, really.
How do you avoid someone
Focus, you can slow down and then just move between the individual dots. You don't move away from the waves, you move away from the dots themselves. And you see how she's moving in between the dots. Yes, I've got the Touhou on the stage. You can actually see the hitbox. In the standard version of this game, you will not be able to see the hitbox. In all later games, you do get to see the hitbox when you're broken. It just makes me so I've got a noise for it. You're a fighter. I love the characters in the output. The game itself is if you get stuck in the master spot.
and it's like really difficult to play one.
Okay, that's player one now. Okay.
No shit, it's not harder. First level still was supposed to be this, shit goes down. Is it basically there's no stop.
You just mash the ball out of that button.
One ball.
That one's a bit of a bastard to set up. Yeah, if you want to borrow I mean, if you want to do both the laptop and move it over, yeah, I don't mind. I just killed two birds with one stone. Yeah, see it.
This is how
What's going to happen is player one's going to play on the keyboard, or player two's going to play on the controller. For some reason,
These are all the characters.
Always get more from the extra like mechanic. He just go ahead like this.
I can't cope with those logos at all. It's like, oh, the screen's upside down, you go.
Okay, can anyone hear me? Right. The side presentations are about to start in that corner if you want to go to them. Thank you very much.
I want to play something next. What?
Go out to wait, kick the camera.
Oh, is there another screen? Is it two-player?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's all the time I'm thinking that this would actually quite easy.
There's one guy where they use normal difficult content.
Oh,
Yeah, I heard there was one of those before that it's loaded
we also have a...
Missile! Yeah.
I've not played this, so I'm trying to figure out what to do.
Get the shoulder button.
What's the shoulder button? Yes, it's the old one.
It's gone pretty much almost okay.
Alright, good. Yes. I'm not a press person or anything, I'm just a video blogger type person.
I don't know the buttons! I'm losing balls.
Yeah, right. Fuck that shit up.
Don't do that just as I learn how to be smart. What the fuck are you doing, man? I don't like this game. I like the old this game's shit compared to the old one. Yeah, I'm from the old game. I'm from the old game, to be honest with you. There's nothing here in that one. We haven't got spare quite well. I play Yukari. I play Yukari, but if I'm up against Harley's Infinite, I found out that it's entirely susceptible to swap Alice. Alice can completely like oh my god, I just realized you just caught the player. Is there available? Yeah.
I love the fact that there's 10 royals standing there and every time she just goes, royal we never call the stable everyone.
No, 10 she's standing there thinking, I'm the one who should be beaten up.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I drank one beer last night, and I drank one more the lad literally getting very gone, so yeah, quite easy really. Get a decent amount of things, but feel good. Really nice shit. All AyaCon obviously
Too much running around, I can't run in them. Like I said, I'll wear them when I get the chance to. So obviously I will wear them for cosplay. Okay, so over there, Okay. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the bonus panel is about to start now. So if you want to take your seat, we'll get the panel up right now, and we'll start with that. Thank you very much. The games on the other laptops will still continue, so you can continue to play them if you want. If you want headphones for the games, I will happily give them to you as well. Thank you.
If anyone wants to play Touhou 12.3, which is an old fighting game that has more characters in it, I'm going to be setting up on my laptop over on the far right over there.
Also, if anyone can get me a glass of water, that'll be very nice.
You can say that, I'll say that money. Oh yeah, you can do
You can get my about an hour. Oh, actually, give that to the person who just gave Can I also just ask, is anybody recording this? Oh, are you? Right, because there's a MOTK wanted to sort of video on it, so I'll have to talk to you about it afterwards. So thank you very much for still recording it. Thank you. Okay. Is everyone seated? Yeah. And that's loud. That's very loud. Right. Do you two want headphones, or are you okay?
No, we'll be fine.
Okay, thank you. Right, so I literally put this together, sort of last second thing. I thought it was a brilliant idea and I had to give mention to it. Basically, the Touhou fans have made a variety of animated videos. Some of these are 2D, some of these are flash videos, like iOS for example. Some of these use 3D models, and some of them are the equivalent of high-end budget anime productions. Which is, thank you. Who keeps doing that little yay? Is that someone at the back?
Hello.
There he goes. So yeah, this will be a collection of a variety of those. We will not be doing the as popular ones such as Bad Apple because they are so popular. People have seen them time and time again that they don't really need to be shown any more than they already have. But again, stuff like that pretty much made Touhou infamous in its own unique way. But unfortunately, people like CNN did a ridiculous job of doing a review for it. So it was like, exactly, that's where that came from. So basically, it's any form and it's by anyone because it's not just people who aren't into the music. Oh my gosh, there's a hiccup.
Just to work me, I will be using.
Sorry, I got distracted. So yeah, it's not just done by, you know, just random groups who just want to animate. Sometimes it's the actual music groups themselves who choose, oh, we're going to animate this for one of our videos, and it's normally people like AyaCon and East New Sound. They do that sort of thing all the time, except for AyaCon, they seem to always release them as a flash along with their CD, so it's like, you could have at least put it in a proper video file. So, we'll start with this one.
This is only basic decks just for anyone who doesn't have decks set up.
No idea how happy it makes me to sort of look up and see people laugh at the faces that I always expect them to laugh at. It's really cool. So yeah, that one is called, well, the English translation of that is Blue Regrets, Blue Tears by Buta Atomi. The animation sort of twists between the 2D and the 3D, and it's quite cool how when Shino goes into TV, it's literally... You okay? Are you sure you're alright? Hey.
more ego than anything.
So yeah, the lovely contrast between the 3D and the 2D, and obviously, hands up if you got all the references in that video. And if anyone else?
I watched it today.
Yes. Fair enough. Anybody who got a few of the references? I mean, come on. Anybody would have. There we go. Thank you. It's okay to see somebody do Mario and then Mega Man, but to see them do balloon fights, it's like, oh my god, really? So yeah, and then obviously a few others in there as well. But yeah, that sort of thing. Now the next one is going to be a 3D one as well, and this is a 3D one for. Bloody hell, that is loud.
I'm going full volume. You can't hear it when you've got the opening screen anyway.
Oh, fair enough then, that's okay then. Okay, so yeah, the next one is a music video, as in the group who did the music originally as well anyway, and it involves a certain Celestial.
Wait till you put this on the soul meter.
I won't be surprised if someone's actually already done a step chart for that song. It just needs to be on DVR.
If there is a step chart for it, I'm looking for it.
I'll probably join you on that as well. So yeah, that's Earthquake Super Shot by Soundholic. The actual title of the video is Heartquake Super Shot, but that's Soundholic. They always seem to do that with their videos. I've only just realised they did a DJ Miko joke before Toyo Satomimi actually came along, which I find quite amusing for some reason. So yeah, that featured Tenshi Mariso Remember, and it's just really the end bit that I really like, because it just sort of pans out and it's like crowd, full-on effects, like thank you. That's one of sort of, well, I'd say that would even be pinnacle of 3D things, but I'd say 3D music videos for the Touhou stuff. I mean, East New Sound do stuff as well, because I know Jeff wanted the Upsahel one that East New Sound did.
I did it in my panel anyway.
Yeah, exactly, so I figured I'd do something different this time around. Now, The reason why I say pinnacle 3D model animation is because the next video is pretty long, but it's worth it for what it is. And it involves a certain Shrine Maiden and a certain Hell Raven, stage 6 of Subterranean Animism.
Oh, it's the full version this time. Is this the version with the sound effects added as well?
Yeah.
Good. Voice acting?
No voice acting.
No.
In all fairness, I don't think it needs it.
Except for the fact the subtitles and jump keys.
I tried to find the songs, I couldn't find them. In all fairness, just think of it as the translation of the stage 6. It's dialogue, basically.
This video is like pseudo is awesome. Whether I can play pseudo or not.
Why didn't we think of that before? Damn it, I should have kept the other microphone on.
What's this?
Also, please note that this is the recreation of all the spell cards on Lunatic.
And now we are friends. He'll keep you friends afterwards.
Yeah, that was the, I think I could pretty much call it the infamous Touhou 3D dogfight by Impulse JP, who did the animation for all of that, and Kamineko Yu, who provided the sound effects for the video. It's very long, but for a very good reason, and of course, the reason why you saw the credits pop up with certain music part is because there was at least 3 different groups who provided music, 4 different groups who provided music to that. The first part was actually Sun's original song, part of the Stage 6 theme of Subterranean Embassy. The next 3 were all arrangers from different groups, so yeah. Infamous for its own reasons. Now, we go on to the Flash side of things. And I guess I can't have an animation panel without having to mention and show iOSYS videos. However, we will not show the obligatory Cherno Perfects Masterclass for the same reasons that we haven't put Ban Apple up here as well, because of the fact that they're popular enough as it is. People have seen them so many times already, and so we basically go for the other side of things as well, the not so popular and just as popular but not as popular. So we go for the first one first, which is this one. Okay, that one was... Oh yeah, fun facts on this one as well actually, because it's called Fragrance of Oriental Sunflower, but the actual title of the track is Taiyo no Hana, which is Flower of the Sun. It's by iOS, and the animation, or the flash animation, is by Locker Room Productions, who do quite a lot of the flash animation. Now, with that, actually, because a lot of people think, oh, is that supposed to be Flower View, it's supposed to be represented? It's not actually. iOS literally went, okay, we're going to make this like as an original Touhou game. And it just so happened to feature Yuka as the main character, so I have to play a Yuka-based video in this panel at some point, so I had to. But yeah, they did that. That was one of their sort of first few videos as well, so obviously as they progressed, you see iOS getting much more brighter, much more smoother animations. As our next example is, because the next example is a couple of years after this. And this one again, another iOS track, because it has to be. It doesn't contain bunnies, but it does contain a cat.
Hong Kong.
And also, guess the parody. And that got the reaction I was expecting it would as well. Yeah. So yeah, that was Heartful Necromancer, again by iOS, and the flash animation for that one was by Niji. And yeah, guess the parody. Yeah. So yeah, we had Orin as the main one on that one. And amusingly enough with that one as well actually, is the popcorn thing. That has become a very popular recurring gif that a lot of the Touhou fans seem to use in a reaction to something. It's like, oh, this is going to be interesting. So yeah, it's stuff like that. iOS seems to always produce the flash animations that get used in GIFs most. Now the next thing we're going to do is, again, another long video, because we're doing this 2 short, 1 long, 2 short, 1 long. And this is only going to be the last long one, so the next 2 after that are going to be short as well. The next one is, now if some people might remember from Kitta, I did a half presentation on Create.Swift. Now, one of my friends on MTK, Spastic, is his tag name. He specialises in AMV-Hell-esque Touhou animations. Basically, taking sound bites from pop culture, slamming them together, and animating over them. And most of the times he also throws in his original content as well, so he voices the characters as well. So he has his friends and a group called Nitori's Mysterious Station Wagon. And it is literally a group of Create.Swift animators. So basically, they take the program, put animation programs on top of it, and animate by it. And it takes a ridiculous amount of time to do. So what I'm about to show you is one of his Touhou sketches that he did. And he did this in under a week. So he did this in 7 days with the help of a lot of his friends. So, enjoy.
text you boys all day! Now that I've got you right where I want you!
Make a Touhou sketches for Touhou Ryuji edition.
No. Aren't you supposed to did and make your own?
I don't know how to make worthless videos.
Well, neither did I, but that's how I started. Besides, someone's already making a Touhou sketch in Touhou edition. But he didn't post any clips, and he never gave a release date.
Well, actually, I think he's releasing it on
Yakuza Day.
Yeah, that. Apparently it's on the 12th of December.
6 months? There's no way I'm going to wait that long. I want it now!
Well, it's 5:19 on a Monday, and I got school every day until 3. So if I work non-stop in all my free time, I couldn't get a feature-length Touhou sketches video done until at least Sunday.
We don't goof.
But what is science?
Is science? Is this science? Science? We have in fact discovered that this is science.
It is a nuclear fusion reactor. You mean nuclear fusion reactor? No, nuclear. It's what George W. Bush said. You dare tell the president.
War. War never changes. War has changed.
Hey, wait a minute. This isn't base at all. You just built a bunch of corporate logos. Chicken in a basket. This can't possibly get any worse.
Nuclear launch detector. How is that possible? Magic!
Cat planet. Hello there, need to watch out for crows, because they're not cats at all. Why must you be so evil, Mr. Crow? You are so mean, Mr. Crow. You act like a rip van fish, only you're actually dangerous. It's pretty great.
I'm a birdie bird. I'm a birdie bird. I'm a birdie bird. Are you a birdie bird? I'm a hell you too.
Remember what to do, friends. Now tell me right out loud. What are you supposed to do when you see the flag?
And now for a deleted scene from Subterranean Animism.
Humans these days aren't scared of any hell blazing fires, much less the birds that live there. The birds that eat raw garbage up above are way scarier.
So you're not afraid of the hell blazing fires? Well then, what about a much more terrifying, high temperature, high pressure world?
Oh man, what an idiot. Huh? What's wrong? And the power I was feeling inside of her is the Yaga Russ. Yaga Russ really the guy that controls the ultimate energy. Bring me to my bedroom. Yaga Russ, a sun crow inside of a crow. It's crowception!
eradicate science.
Now that I have attained the power of the Yatagarasu, you will fear the power of my third leg. Not so funny. My third leg is large and in charge. You better stop laughing, because when my third leg discharges, you're going to be covered in all sorts of hot stuff. This girl is making fun of me.
Okay, what's so funny? How predictable.
Is there anything else we should know about?
Oh, have you not heard?
Heard what? And now for a deleted scene from Touhou the fighting game. You know which one I'm talking about.
It's too hot. I've got to get that AyaCon. Do you think I'll let you escape before I eradicate you? I gotta escape before I eradicate you. Will you escape from me? Or will I simply force you to buzz on? It's a fight. I did it! Oh, what have you done to me, you foolish child? Oh, I love
Sad fans into smiling by the grave and stern decorum of the covenant of me. Though thy crest be shown and shaven, now I say I shall be pardoned. Gasping grim with ancient man wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lovely name is on the ninth day of the show.
Right there.
Sarah.
This thing should be stable enough to power every building in Gensokyo.
Move the laptop off the table. Stop what I've got from the keyboard and the laptop.
But I'm selling a computer that's
We're done
going
there
down.
for
Perhaps that explains the sticker.
We've got a lot of paper in the room. Now, move down to the table. And just open up the screen. Somewhat.
Still not hot enough. Drop 4 bodies in. Copy that.
Wait! I'm not supposed to be here! Current got me here, promising I'd gain all sorts of powers and spend all sorts of women!
I wish there was an easier way to do this.
Eat this Yatagarasu. It's high in vitamins.
Put a bird on it. Good bird. Good bird.
It's crowception.
A top story tonight. The sudden outburst of several nuclear explosions. Nuclear. Whatever. Nuclear explosions have been exploding everywhere we go. We also have with us in the studio Professor Bob Blossom, who is a specialist in this type of phenomenon. Professor Blossom, what do you have to say on the subject? War. I couldn't have put it any better myself. Now we go straight to the studio where we have a live interview with the one and only Ziggy H. Bob.
Ziggy Bob, you've been accused of being one markedly responsible with most of these nuclear explosions. What do you have to say in your defense?
What do you do? Oh crap, that's going to be broadcast all over the world.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say?
But you still knocked me out to bring it to my closet, so it's punishment time.
That should be Metal Gear Solid 4, not 3. Spastic realised the error too late.
It looks like this video blew him away.
Yeah. What time is it? 4 minutes. Okay, right, we're gonna nip through this very quickly then. So that was Touhou Skater's Touhou Ryushi edition by Spastic, Beat Zero Me, and Notorious Mysterious Touhou Station Wagon. Why is that such a mouthful to say? So yeah, that was 15 minutes of sketches that they either took from random bits and they did themselves. Obviously, Beat Zero Me threw in the science thing, which now is completely stuck in my head again. Right, we'll quickly go on to this one, and I'm pretty sure everyone will know that Memories of Phantasm is one of the popular groups that do animated stuff. We don't have time to show you an anime episode, but we do have time to show you one of my personal favourites from them, in which it's their third promotional video, and the key theme is Flower View. Okay, unfortunately due to all the technical issues we had earlier with the laptops, I'm out of time, so I can't end on the video I wanted to, which is a shame because Chris and Anime No, because Chris's Jeopardy panel I know is important, so I know that he wants to get on with that. So we'll close up now, and thank you very much for coming. Thank you. So yeah, thanks to Jeff, Sarah, Robin, Puppy, and thank you to all for coming. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting this. Thank you very much, and take care and have fun and enjoy the rest of the convention.